Hey guys, I am back and today I am going to be doing the third update to my Pan Those Eyeshadow series here on YouTube. If you're new here, I will link the playlist down below for this series along with the other project panning playlists I have down below for your viewing pleasure in case you like project pans. We've got a lot of them going on here this year. And also, if you aren't aware, I've been doing palette bingos with the shades and palettes that I've been featuring in this project. So the shadow in my Pan Those Eyeshadows is automatically rolled in, and then I roll in a couple of other shades just to keep showing off the shades and beautiful palettes in my collection. So without further ado, let's hop straight into this project, and I am going to start with the shades that have been in this project the longest. The first is going to be the Laura Mercier Eye Art Artist Palette. I used this twice in the past month, and that is for 14 uses total. Since I rolled it in, I'm going to show what the palette was looking like last month. And here is what the palette is looking like this month. As you can see, I've got an itty bitty speck of pan right there. So I'm really happy to have hit pan on this shadow. It's a really pretty shade to throw all over the lid with most crease colors. It's just like a light pink with kind of a gold champagne shift. And it's a really beautiful shade. I really enjoyed reaching for this palette. I didn't play around with the other shades too much, but I do really like it. And I did a really fun palette bingo with it, and I'm very excited to roll something new in this shadow's place. Then the next shadow was my Buxom Boss Babe Dolly palette. I have used this 5 times in the past month for a total of 12 times since I first rolled this shadow in. I am going to show what it was looking like last month. And this is what the shade is looking like this month. As you can see, a nice shiny pan right there. You can see that, there you go. Sorry for the terrible reflection on this shiny packaging. I am really happy that I got pan on this one as well. This one had a really deep dip last time, and it still took me 5 uses, and I was kind of surprised. By the time I got to the 4th use, I was like, what's going on here? So I actually got a little clip of me hitting pan because I was just so sure that I was gonna hit pan any moment now that I had my camera out and ready. So that was really fun. I really like this shade. It is a peachy pink with a gold reflect in it. And yeah, it's just been really easy to wear, goes really well with a lot of the other products that I'm panning. And yeah, just 2 solid lid shades. Then the next shadow that was rolled in, I believe, on my first update, so like 2 months ago, is the Nars Ignited palette, and I rolled in the shade Supernova. I am going to show what it was looking last month. I have used it 3 times since then. And this is what it is looking like this month. So you can see there's like a little bit of a dip, and the pan has kind of shifted a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So I do think in the upcoming month, if I use this more, thinking like 5 to 8 times, then I'll start seeing the progress that I need to actually hit pan that I was seeing with these shades. So I'm gonna swatch it. This one is more of an orange with a pink shift almost. As you can see, it kind of flashes pink when you hit the light just right, and it is a beautiful iridescent shade. So I am excited to roll this. I used it 3 times in the past month for 3 uses total, so I am excited to, now that I've used up this shade, or not used up, but hit my goal on this shade, I can focus on this now. And my last shadow is one that I rolled in last month. I am going to show what it was looking like. This is the Dior Backstage Eye Palette in the shade Rosewood Neutrals, and I have the shade Metal Magenta rolled in, and I used it 3 times since last month, and this is going to be another shiny one. I'm sorry, guys, but this is what it is looking like this month. I think you can see maybe a little teeny tiny difference, like it has been used, but there is no perceivable dip. I'm wearing it today on my upper and lower lash line, and then I kind of blended it in with a different shade to wing that other shade out. I think it's really fun to wear as kind of a pop of color on as a liner. I have worn it all over my lid once, and it's not my favorite. I just think it's kind of a hard to use shade in this palette because the other ones are so neutral, or they're like kind of a liner shade. And because it's so metallic that sometimes I feel like I struggle with it. But it is beautiful, just a metallic magenta, as the name suggests. And I will definitely use it in the upcoming month. So this is what the color story was looking like last month. Here are the 2 shades that are staying for the upcoming month, and I am going to roll in 2 new shades for this project. So in total, I have 243 eyeshadows, and without pan, I now have 32 shadows with pan, which is really exciting. And so I'm going to randomly generate a couple of numbers between 1 and 243, and I'll just go in order. Sometimes it'll roll in a shade that I already have, so I'm just gonna roll in 4 all at once. There we go. So I got 23 and 218. So 23 is from my MAC Solar Glow palette. It's the shade Soot. And 218 is from my ABH Sultry palette, and it's the shade Dystopian. So I'm gonna go grab those shades and I'll be right back. There has been an unfortunate incident. The shade Soot from MAC Solar Glow ×9 is a dark, kind of blackish brown, and Dystopian from Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette is a dark brown. I know I'm not gonna use these that much. Okay, in the spirit of actually making good progress on my eyeshadow palettes and using new shades that I wouldn't normally use, I am going to keep the first dark brownish color, and I'm going to re-roll for Dystopian. So the next shade that I happened to pull was 5. So let's see what 5 is. It's the shade Cozy Gray. Cozy Gray is this shade right here. And I think I'm going to leave this in because I felt like I could hit pan on it when I did pan this palette in my 2020 project pan before I started YouTube. So I hit pan in these 2 shades, so I think I might actually have a chance of hitting pan in this shade. So I'm going to keep it in. It's got a good dip, and this will give me an excuse to use my MAC shadows and maybe play around with some of the fun shades in this palette. Because Cozy Gray is kind of a cream shade, but it's also can be used as kind of a transition shade. Okay, so here's the color story we're working with. I think I could hit pan on Cozy Gray if I can find a way to use it really easily in my everyday routine that doesn't replace something that I'm already doing in my Pan That palette, which sounds hard, or not even in my everyday routine, but just find a look that I like with it. This, I'm gonna see. I have a black in my Pan That palette, so that might cause some problems because this is kind of a near black gray first I thought it was a brown, but honestly, black and brown line all the same. All looks the same on my eyes. So I don't know how long this will stay in the project, but I do have very high hopes that I can see some good progress on these two shades. And I think I'm going to experiment with Cozy Gray because it does have a pretty big dip in it. And these pans aren't super deep. So we're going to roll with it and we're going to see if I can get some good progress, a good number of uses over the next month, and then we can go from there. So that is everything for today's video. Thank you for joining me as I sit here and troubleshoot because I keep rolling matte browns. And I see other people having this issue in this project too. So I know it's not just me. And other than that, I hope you are enjoying this project. I hope you are having an incredible, awesome day wherever you are, and that I get to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys.